Hello, welcome to the Next Year of Beer blog. This week's beer is, well, we've got a couple of beers. They're fairly new to the market. It's not a new brewery, but Liefmans. They're an old brewery. What are they? They're 4 centuries old as a brewery. But at the end of 2007, they actually went into administration and were bought by Duvel Moortgat, who have breathed new life into the company. And Liefmans are kind of known best for their cherry, their creek beer, the iconic sort of paper-wrapped bottle. The Liefmans beers are, or they used to be, solely based on a very complex Flemish brown ale. It's an ale that is fermented with multi-strain yeasts, which give it a kind of a complex, sweet and sour and a slight sort of sharpness there as well. It's not a lambic beer. It doesn't undergo the long barrel aging that lambics do. It's the multi-strain yeast that gives this beer most of its character. Multi-strain yeast, dark malt, and of course being fermented with whole cherries. Now they used to produce a range of beers. The 3 most famous were Liefmans Creek, which has been renamed Liefmans Cuvée. This is what we're going to open in a second. They used to produce a Frambozen, a raspberry beer, and the Gudenband, which is the base beer with no fruit added. Now they produce other beers as well, but those are the 3 beers that they're kind of best known for. Now unfortunately, in being assimilated by Duvel, the beers have been streamlined a little bit, and so what they now produce is a little light mixed fruit one, sort of a 4%er, and this is a commercial sweet beer. And this is we're going to put it in a flute just to show it off nicely. Lovely bright pink beer there. And it's got a slight kind of confected cherry. Yeah, it would be fair to say that smells like confected cherry, kind of like cherry boiled sweets, cough drops, that kind of thing. That's nice. It's okay. It's pretty light bodied. There's a little bit of artificial flavouring. I think there's saccharin in there. It tastes of saccharin to me. And it's light, it's fruity, it's artificially sweetened, the finish is fairly short. There's nothing really unpleasant about it, although the fruitiness is slightly artificial. But it's not, it's not a beer to get worked up at. It's a light bit of fun. And actually, if this little confected bit of pink fluff is the sacrifice that we had to make in order to save the heritage range of Liefmans beers, then I don't think that's such a bad thing. So let's move on to the Liefmans Creek now. The classic sort of paper wrapped bottle. It's lovely, it's all hand done. I'm going to take the cage off, out with the cork. And of course, drinking out of a flute is a flutje in Flemish is not really a thing that a man is supposed to do. It's slightly effeminate. There's a little bit of a play on the phallic symbolism of a flute being brought so close to the face. Look at that. It's a lovely sustained head on that. We're not going to worry too much about the phallic symbolism. We'll just get stuck in. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. Initially you get sweetness, of course, sweet receptors at the front of the tongue, but immediately after you get the sweetness you get an almost sort of slightly vinegary, almost acetic complexity kind of moving in, and with that there's a little bit of fruit character as well. Fruit character then becomes quite tart in the mouth, so the initial sweetness, slightly acetic, fruit, and then tartness. And when the finish, as you breathe out, you get a little bit of that kind of characteristic wild yeast, Brettanomyces horse blankety complexity. You can also feel a little bit of alcohol as well, I think. But that's good. That's a really mature, grown-up fruit beer. Like I say, it's not one of the really tart lambics. It's got a real kind of slick mouthfeel to it. It's almost chewy. Lambics tend to be very dry and tart. This has a real kind of body to it. You know, it's got a real weight on the palate. It's good. It's very drinkable actually. I'm not crazy about fruit beers and beers that don't taste of beer, but this is actually a really decent example. And we're drinking Liefmans Creek beer today, or the Liefmans Cuvée as it's been renamed, and we're pairing it with some fantastic sticky chocolate cake. Went to the farmer's market earlier today, stocked the freezer up with lots of, you know, nice organic farm-reared meats. We saw this fantastic sticky chocolate cake. I just thought it would be a wonderful pairing to go with this cherry beer. It's really quite rich and sticky. And that is a fantastic pairing. Creek beer and chocolate, dark chocolate for preference, or chocolate tarts, sticky chocolate cake. That's the one thing that anyone who is sceptical about the idea of beer and food matching, that's the one thing. Good quality Creek beer and chocolate. Incredible match. It's greater than the sum of its parts. This is going to make a fantastic afternoon tea. I'd love to sit in here and finish the rest of this beer and the chocolate cake as well, but I'm going to share it. That's the kind of guy I am. Thanks for stopping by. I'd urge you to seek out cherry beer and dark chocolate. Combine them, have a great time. See you next time. Cheers.